It all starts with a seed that has blossomed into a $19 billion industry. Now you can plant a seed with Leafly. Cannabis is the fastest growing industry in North America, averaging 27.5% growth year over year, supporting over 320,000 full-time jobs across 37 states. Leafly is the marketplace that brings it all together. And while we don't touch the plant, we follow the plant. We study it. And we're the place where you can discover the farmers, entrepreneurs, mad scientists, and bud tenders who power the industry. We help legal, licensed dispensaries get new customers. We've built the world's most comprehensive strain library, helping patients discover ideal strains for symptoms and locate the stores who sell it nearby. We advocate for legalization with a social justice and equity mindset. Leafly is a content-first marketplace providing truth, science, and options to over 10 million visitors each month. With more than 11,000 articles from an award-winning editorial team and over 1.3 million strain reviews, helping you find and order the products and brands you're looking for 24 hours a day. Leafly is where the industry and the consumer meet. So plant a seed. Let's grow. Leafly. We help the world discover cannabis.
Hey folks, welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Deron Harris. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Deron Harris podcast. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the new digital world order. And you might ask me what that is, and pretty much it's this. You know, if you wanted to know about cryptocurrency or what an NFT is or the metaverse, this is the show right here because I'm actually interested in all that stuff myself. I do own a little bit of cryptocurrency, and I'm anxious to see what I can actually do with it. So today on the program, we're going to be sitting here talking about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and the metaverse and what they are and what we can do to be involved, if we even want to be involved at all. But first and foremost, as we get started, I want to give the Dope Shit Award. Today's Dope Shit Award, and this is actually probably one of the dopest things that I have ever heard of. So today's Dope Shit Award goes to the House of Representatives. That's right, the House of Representatives gets today's Dope Shit Award. What did they do? Well, check this out. The House votes in favor 220 to 204 for the decriminalization of marijuana. Hallelujah. That's right. So it still has to go through a few more hurdles for it to be legal, legally, nationally. But that's the first major hurdle that they have overcome. So today's Dope Shit Award goes to the House of Representatives for having the fucking cojones to decriminalize marijuana and put it up. And not for nothing, they did it in I mean, it was 220 to 204. So yeah, they wanted to get this put across. And I think people are starting to realize that it don't fucking hurt nobody. But more importantly than that, it actually helps the economy. It does help the economy. It can help the economy. But one of the things I'm starting to not like about it is now that the government's a part of it, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, we're cool. But now that they're part of it, now they're starting to regulate it. So now, some of the strains, they're capping off at 14%, 15%, when, I know back in the day, just recently, not too far back in the day, but just recently I was getting stuff that I just know was higher than, 15, 16, 17, even 20%. So, but even still, that is a huge leap forward for this movement, and especially for the people who suffer from conditions where marijuana helps them, and they live in states or places where they don't really have access to a dispensary. All they really have is a dude down the street that could really get it for them. So now, it's more or less a slap on the wrist, or really, it's decriminalized. So hopefully, that's a pathway to full legalization here in the country, and here soon we can be enjoying the benefits across the country of what cannabis has to offer us. So, and it's more than just it's more than just getting high. Like I said, when I first got my card, I went and I spoke to the physician, and he ran down a bunch of strains and what they did. And when I went into the dispensary, even some of the people behind the counter, they were very knowledgeable, and they asked me, well, what's wrong with you? Well, I was in a car wreck and my neck hurts and I have anxiety, and I've been diagnosed with depression depression and so on and so forth. And, sure enough, they come out of the back, well, try this, and then you try that, and da-da-da-da, so on and so forth. Well, this strain is this, and it does this and that. And, you really start to begin to realize that it really does have an effect on those different parts that you're having problems in. So I just want to say, again, hats off to the House of Representatives for, decriminalizing marijuana, because it really, really legitimately will start helping people instead of hurting people, because, they used it for so many years and they demonized it for so many years. And not only that, they used it to put minorities in prison, for long periods of time, and it was just crazy, but now, hopefully those days are over and people can get back to, and maybe, they'll let the people with the little bullshit, bogus marijuana charges, maybe they'll let them go. Maybe they'll free up some spaces in the prisons for people committing real crime. So, yeah. So, yeah, once again, hats off to the House of Representatives for that adjustment to the legal system here. All right, moving right along. Today's earbuds is actually kind of cool, man. I'm a big fan of this artist and have been for quite some time. And some of you may know who he is. I know the world probably knows who he is now. But they didn't know who he was about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm living proof because I had to put so many people onto this dude. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. And today's artist that I'm listening to on earbuds, which I listen to every day. I listen to every week. I listen to all the time. I listen to him primarily. This is pretty much my favorite artist at the current moment. And the artist is actually Anderson .Paak. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful musician. Great artist. Just slap hard, good music, man. I mean, he's got, a plethora of albums. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking at 6, 7 albums. Lovejoy in 2012, Venice in 2014, Malibu in 2016. Yes, Lord also in 2016, Oxnard in 2018, and Ventura in 2019, and Silk Sonic in 2021. This cat right here is, he's been making music since 2012, but I really picked up on him maybe about 5 years ago, maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago I picked up on him. But ever since I started listening to him, man, I started with the album Malibu, which was in 2016, and it's got my favorite Anderson .Paak track on it, which is actually Come Down, which I think that's just a great, great, great song. Great track, man. Just real simple, too. Real simple, but real impactful, real meaningful. But he's got so many good songs. He's got good songs with other people. He's got a song with Kendrick Lamar called Tense, which is just great. Just a good tune, man. It's just a good up-tempo, feel good song. And I play that one a whole lot. So if you don't know who he is, he won. He's part of the Silk Sonic duo with Bruno Mars, and congratulations to them, by the way, to the Silk Sonic duo for him and Bruno Mars for winning Song of the Year and Record of the Year. I thought that was absolutely awesome, the way that they got up to go accept their awards. And I tell you what, though, man, Bruno Mars was a real clean cut dude, man. When he first came out, man, he was like, "I should have bought you flowers." He went from that to "This bitch got me paying her rent," hanging around with ratchet ass Anderson .Paak, smoking weed and drinking Hennessy and shit. They was fucked up at the Grammys too, man. You could just tell Bruno was fucked up. He couldn't even say shit, man. He was wasted. He lit up a cigarette on the stage at the Grammys. That's how you knew he was fucked up. He was fucked up. But again, man, hats off to them dudes, man. They both are amazing artists. They put out some great, great music, man. They really do. And now that they're putting out music together, it's good to see. It's good to see like young cats like that, and they're young, well, young considering to me, I'm fucking old, but it's good to see young cats putting out good music, good, like good musicianship too. And it's, I'm a beat maker. I make beats. I don't really write music, anything. I make beats, but it's good to see young cats that are actually musicians, man, that read music, that went to school and learned music theory and put their best foot forward. And, hats off to their music teachers or whoever was behind these cats, because these cats really put some good music out for the rest of us. Just good, feel good songs. Both of them, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. You know what I'm saying? And I knew Bruno Mars had it in him, man. You know what I'm saying? He's got a great voice. But to me, he started hanging around with Anderson .Paak, and I started liking him better. You know what I'm saying? So, because it just seems like he let his hair down. He didn't have to, stand up so much for, what was going on at at his music label. Now he gets, it's almost like the gloves came off. You know what I mean? So, you could tell that. Like I said, when he lit the cigarette up on stage, you could tell like this motherfucker was. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I'm Anderson .Paak. I mean, I'm Bruno Mars. I'm winning right now. So hats off to these cats for winning, man. So. And I absolutely love that. So, again, if you guys if you've not heard of them, or not, I know you've heard of Bruno Mars, but if you've not heard of Anderson .Paak, please do yourself a favor, jump on YouTube and listen to a couple of his tunes, man. Or either jump on whatever streaming service that you have and put on Anderson .Paak Radio, and I'll tell you what, man, you will not be disappointed. It's good song after good song after good song. So. This next portion of the program is brought to you by Leafly. That's right, Leafly. I enjoy that app because it educates the shit out of me, really. It does. It really helps me get my game on as far as the cannabis game, because I really like to know, you know what I mean? Before it was like we didn't know. Back in the days, motherfuckers really didn't know what they were smoking. We just took, back in the day, we really didn't know what we were smoking. I mean, we didn't. We had no clue. You know what I'm saying? We was just out there buying whatever we could get. Hopefully, it didn't have a bunch of sticks and seeds in it, and we smoked it. We didn't know what it was. Sometimes it was oregano. We didn't fucking know. So, shout out to Leafly for making it easy to identify the different strains and actually educate some people about cannabis. Which brings me to my strain of the week. The strain actually is we got it with the last strain we got, which was Cinderella 99. Which actually this strain and Cinderella 99 are actually related. The strain of the week is Apollo 11, and really it's a cross between the Jack Harris strain and the Cinderella 99 strain, which is great. They're both sativas, so it's like a real heady high, man. It's euphoric. It's uplifting. It gives you lots of energy where you can go out, like I said, and that's what I like to do. I like to be productive. If I'm going to do something, I want to be productive at it. I don't want to be, just standing around, with my, so, blasted that I can't do anything or I can't think straight. I like to be productive. So, I'm not one of those guys who sits on the couch and becomes like I become one with the couch after, smoking a blunt or anything like that. I'm not that guy. I want to get up and I want to use it what it's for, which is, it makes you think about different things. And usually, I'm, before I write my podcasts, I make sure that I have something or a strain that is going to make it so that I am productive, so I can think about things from different angles. And this, Apollo 11 actually does the job. It actually makes it so that I can focus on my podcast. Ironically enough, it makes it so I can focus. So I am a big fan of it, and if you have an opportunity to find it, I would highly recommend that you get it. If you can't find it, like I said, jump on Leafly. Leafly, you can search for it. So search for Apollo 11, and if it's close to you, there'll be a little icon that will tell you. You can click the icon; it'll tell you where it is or where it's located near you. So make sure that when you go and search it, and if it is near you, that you go and try it, because I had a good time with it. My wife had a good time with it, and we absolutely loved it. So now it's time for What's Poppin'. What's poppin', folks, today? What is popping today? What is popping today? Today is the new digital world order is really what's popping. That's what's really going down right now. It's kind of taking over everything. It's taking over everybody's lives, and because I think, people are really starting to gain wealth from it. So people are really, young people. And so people are starting to take notice of it. And it started with cryptocurrency. It started with Bitcoin. And I didn't really hear about Bitcoin till later. I heard about it, but I didn't really know what it was or anything like that. But I had heard about it through a friend who was like, yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of this stuff they call Bitcoin. It's supposed to be some sort of digital money. You can do like digital stuff with it, And he went and bought a little bit, and he ended up selling it. He's, of course, because he's not rich now, but he ended up selling some, selling it off or whatever. But he was the one. My friend was the one who actually had introduced it to me first. And I jumped on. I started looking at it, and about that time, when I started really kind of looking at it, it was about 2016, and it wasn't too much. It was about 2015, 16. It was like $4,000 or $5,000, something like that. And okay, yeah, sure. I got a couple of dollars, so I was putting a couple of $20 at a time, and I had a little bit of money in it, and it just didn't really move a whole lot. And I had some bills, so I sold it off, and like a dumbass, and sold it off. And then around 2017, it started to explode, and it went from being to like $16,000, $17,000, and everybody, Bitcoin went up to $17,000, and that was like 2017, and then it tanked, and it groveled for a little while, and it was down there, and it kind of went down, and nobody. You still heard about it, but it wasn't really. People weren't really enthusiastic about it. They were like thinking the Bitcoin ship had sailed, but a lot of people started buying it again, especially after which I should have bought some, but I didn't, like a dumbass. I bought some other shit like Dogecoin, but I should have bought more Bitcoin, but I didn't, and a lot of people did, and what started happening is what's happening now, which Bitcoin just went through the roof. And I heard an article that said sometime by the end of this year that Bitcoin is supposed to reach about $100,000. So, I'm waiting to see if that actually happens. I'm trying to put a little bit here and a little bit there. And I do own some cryptocurrency. I just don't own Bitcoin, which I actually own Ethereum. I have some Ethereum, and I also have a little bit of Dogecoin, like I said, which is not much, but it's not trading it much. But I do have a little bit of Dogecoin, but I do also have Solana, which Michael Jordan just got a hold of, which is actually a competitor of Ethereum. So I have both, like I said, both Solana and Ethereum, which are basically my major crypto coin, or my major crypto endeavors. So I'm kind of nurturing my my Ethereum investment, because that is what the next category or the next subject I want to talk about is based off of, which is Ethereum, which the next category is the NFT, or the non-fungible token category, which I'm very, very interested in that, because again, just like Bitcoin, it's another opportunity for people to virtually get rich for something digital, or so they've created this digital marketplace for them to spend their cryptocurrency, which has an actual dollar amount on it, which is so crazy. There's a marketplace called, I wanted to tell you first about your cryptocurrency marketplace. If you want to purchase cryptocurrency, I actually go through Coinbase. It was the first one. I mean, there's other ones, you could do it through Robinhood, but I go through Coinbase because it was the first cryptocurrency wallet. I mean, not wallet, but cryptocurrency exchange that I found. I logged onto it, and now actually it's being traded on the NASDAQ. So you can actually buy shares on the NASDAQ of Coinbase if you wanted to actually go in that route, the regular money route. I got hooked on. I just decided to go with them, and it's so far so good. It's been working for me. And they just recently came up with a crypto wallet, so you can put your cryptocurrency in a crypto wallet, which brings me back to the non-fungible tokens. Now, the non-fungible tokens are basically artwork or items that are put on a blockchain. I'm just paraphrasing because I'm really not super familiar with it, but what it seems like to me is it's digital artwork that people are selling for cryptocurrency or things. There was a person here where I live, in the area that I live in, and I live in the Tampa Bay area. I don't live in Tampa, but I live in the Tampa Bay area. But somebody in here where I live, they sold their home as a non-fungible token, and they collected Ethereum for it, cryptocurrency for the sale of their home. And it's crazy because, Ethereum, when I first bought it, was around, $300 or $400, $500. And then it went up a little bit, and I thought it was cool. So I took, $45, $50 out of it because I didn't have very much into it. So I took out a little bit of money, but I left some of it in there. And then when I came back, it had actually grown again to where it is now, which the Ethereum is trading at around $3,000, $3,500. But when I jumped on, it was about $3,000. So I started investing, and it went down a little bit. So I was able to invest a little bit while it was under $3,000. And I started putting, $20 here, $30 there, $10 there. So now it's gone up to $3,500. I think it's trading at like $3,500 now. So, I've actually made a little bit of money trading Ethereum. Not a lot, and really, really not a lot. By no stretch of the imagination am I a millionaire. Let's not get it twisted. But I do see how it works. I'm starting to see how it works. And I'm starting to see how it works with the non-fungible tokens. So there is a marketplace that I go to. And it's called OpenSea, OpenSea. And what it is a marketplace for NFTs or non-fungible tokens. And you can log onto this and like I said, it's crazy what people buy and what they buy it for. It's so ridiculously crazy. And it just goes to show you, like, some of it can be frivolous. Some of it seems very frivolous, but at the same time, some of these people they just earned an enormous amount of wealth that they haven't really spent a lot of money on. Some of these guys put down, $25 at the beginning of Bitcoin when it was like 6 or 8 cents or some dumb shit like that. They bought a bunch of it and now they have millions of dollars. And that's really kind of how it shaped up to be. Some of these people just heard, they forgot about it and was like, what? Bitcoin went up well, let me go check the Bitcoin that I bought, 11 years ago, or whatever, however long they bought it ago. And now it's, that's where they are. So these people are able to, they have this money. So what's happening is these NFT places, these NFT marketplaces, you are able to purchase the NFTs, but currently only with Ethereum. Which is, like I said, trading at $3,500, which the more that it trades, the higher that it gets, and the more popular it becomes, the higher that it goes. And that's what's the thing that people are expecting Ethereum to be the next Bitcoin. So people are frantically rushing to buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, and they're also rushing to try and mint or create these digital assets, these non-fungible tokens, which I can't front. I'm a tad bit artistically inclined, and I'm even thinking, what can I create to make a non-fungible token to put it up on OpenSea? So maybe I can charge maybe a half of an Ethereum coin for it, but which is nothing to a lot of these people who have hundreds of Ethereum coins. I have, some people bought these Ethereum coins just like Bitcoin. They bought these Ethereum coins when they were next to nothing. You have bunches of them, and if they like your little piece of artwork, yeah, they'll float you one Ethereum coin. I'm looking at people. There's people, they put up and it's funny because you don't know what works and what doesn't, because there's people that are putting up these NFTs and, some of them are legitimate artists. They put up something and nothing. They're nothing. And other people, they have no artistic ability at all. They put up a few squiggly lines, this, that, make it a little kitty cat or whatever it is, and they put it up and it sells for $24 million. You can't tell, but it seems to be the hottest thing on the internet right now. And that's the craziest thing in the world to me. And I think that it's very intriguing to me. And, people think that the bottom's going to fall out of it, and maybe so, but maybe not, but I'm just anxious to see where it goes from here, because actually what it looks like now is it's the evolution of money. It's the evolution of currency. It's the evolution of, what we pay for goods and services, and actually also the evolution of actual goods and services. So it's tied to all of that. It's tied to the future, and I also think it's tied to some bad shit too. I know it's tied to it's got to be someplace along the line. I know that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin mining, people mine I know that it's taxing on the environment because of the amount of computers that it takes to mine these Bitcoins. But you can mine them, and you can make your own Bitcoin. But I did hear recently that all the Bitcoins that will ever exist are about to be mined. are about to be up for Bitcoin. So that leaves Ethereum on the blockchain. So if you were able to get your Ethereum coins, man, you know what I mean? I know I'm trying to get mine. I'm trying to get some other ones too, because there's, Bitcoin, paved the way for so many others, but there's so many others that are going to start, breaking out. And Ethereum is one. Litecoin was another one. You have Dogecoin, Shiba Inu. There's all kinds of cryptocurrencies out there. So like I said, get with Coinbase, jump on Coinbase, look at them, check them out, surf around. I got it on my phone, my iPad, and on my desktop computer, where I can just kind of sit here and, just watch the trend. And if it goes down, maybe I might, buy a little bit. If it goes up, maybe I might sell a little bit. But, I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun with it, so. But to continue on with the same subject, the Coinbase wallet. The Coinbase wallet is how you sign into OpenSea, which is a part of the from what I'm understanding, I could be wrong, but I think it's part of the Web3 applications, or the start of the Web3. Now people are like, what the hell is Web3? Because I was like, what the hell is Web3? Well, what is it? What is it? And it's the next evolution of the internet. Think about Web2 like this. Web2 was like the age of goods and services. You had like people like Google and Facebook and Twitter and all these. We don't benefit from that. We're not, we can, but we're not, it's not made for us to benefit from. The applications on Web3, to me, what it looks like is an opportunity for us to actually benefit off of things that we actually create ourselves. Hence the NFT market. People are creating these tokens for themselves, and they're making money for themselves, as opposed to going on Facebook and having to buy ads in order to promote ourselves. This metaverse is, it's so different. I used to play a game a long time ago called Second Life, and it was made by a company called Linden Labs, which I believe they just sold it. But to me, it's like what the metaverse, it was like the Metaverse 1.0. Which you could join Second Life, and you could move around in this virtual world. You could buy land, and they even had an economy, which their money was called L, and X amount of L equaled $1. So at one point, there were plenty of people flocking to play this game because, they had opportunity, or they thought they'd have opportunity to actually make good money in this game. And one girl actually did. It was a girl, I think she was from San Francisco. She went into Second Life and she bought a bunch of real estate, and she made $250 real world dollars buying and selling real estate in a virtual game. So that's basically what is happening in the metaverse, but just on a much greater scale, like a much larger scale. You're able to do so many things in the metaverse. There are games, like we're just talking about the NFTs. There are games. There's one game, it's called Axie Infinity, which actually, this is one of the problems with it, was just hacked. This game, Axie Infinity, was hacked for $620 million. Like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. But it was a wildly popular game because what it does, it's a game where you buy, it costs about $1,000 to start to play, because it's a Web3 application that's based in the metaverse, which you need Ethereum in order to play. So what happens is, in this game, you buy these things. They're called Axies, and it's almost like, it's going to be like the new Pokemon, somebody said. But these things are called Axies, and what they are is like these little digital pets, or what they really are NFTs. But they're these little digital pets, and you feed them and you nurture them, just like, the little farm friends on your phone or whatever it is. But you can breed these pets, and what happens is they create, you level them up like you do Pokemon, but their value increases because once they start as eggs, but once they hatch, they become these tokens, these NFT tokens, and you can battle with them in the game, or you can sell them for Ethereum, which people, the higher level that your Axie is, the more Ethereum that it commands. And that is one way that the metaverse, you're able to actually make money, or try and survive. There are people, and look it up. There are people making a whole ass living from playing this game. I mean, there are people making millions of dollars from playing this game, but people just lost a bunch of dollars playing this game. And then because and the problem is, and it's a gift and a curse at the same time, because there's no regulation, but then at the same time there's no FDIC. So if you lose your shit, you lost your shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with the wallets. You know what I'm saying? In order to gain access to the metaverse or these Web3 applications, you have to have a wallet, a digital wallet, or a crypto wallet. I have two of them. I have Coinbase wallet and I have MetaMask. MetaMask, I believe, right now is the most popular. But there is no guarantee. Once you deposit your money into, and this is how it works. Once you deposit your money into one of these crypto wallets, they give you a 12-word phrase. Do not lose that 12-word phrase, because there's no tech support. They cannot recall your password. If you lose that, you are done. So if you have, $1 million of cryptocurrency and you lose those 12 words and you happen to lose your login, guess what? It's just gone. And that's one of the issues with it. You know what I'm saying? So be very careful. And I have mine, I know people who have theirs tattooed on their body so they don't forget it. And that's how important it is, because it is unregulated funds. But then with that, you got people out here super smart. They just hack your computer and take your shit. And that's happening all over the place. They're just hacking your shit and taking your shit. They're just taking it. But there are people getting straight up rich. Puerto Rico has become the landing base or the new homeland for the crypto millionaire. They're buying up all the coastline of Puerto Rico, and because it's cheap, and B, because it's kind of the United States, but not really. You know what I'm saying? But they're out there, they're living their best lives out there, on some cryptocurrency, on some crypto millionaires. And don't get it twisted, the people of Puerto Rico are benefiting from it, which is great. Love it. So that's pretty much what's popping. The cryptocurrency, the NFT or a non-fungible token market, and the metaverse. What is it? What are they? Where is it going? What is it doing? I am just as curious as everybody else out there, so hopefully we can all find out together. Like I said, I've invested in some cryptocurrency. I plan to continue to invest in cryptocurrency, and it's not for everybody, but I do. If you are interested in it, please. There is. I also wanted to tell you guys really fast. If you want a little more information, because I know I'm all over the place a lot. If you want a little more information, there is it's a series on Netflix called Explained, and one of the episodes of Explained, they're little 12 to 15 minute episode, 20-minute episodes, and one of them is on cryptocurrency. And definitely watch it, because it's very intriguing and it tells you how it works. And I think there's another one on the blockchain, because that's what it is. All the stuff is on the blockchain, which I'm still trying to decode and figure that shit out too, because I have no idea what it even is. So that's that. So if you guys, if you are contemplating it, I say take the leap. I say take the jump on off the cliff, and go get you a little bit of cryptocurrency and play around a little bit. So, all right. So that is what's popping for the week. Last week on relationship goals, I basically wanted to do things for my wife. I wanted to show her that I loved her by going above and beyond and trying to anticipate her needs and what she expected of me, as far as what she doesn't know, what she didn't know, I mean, there's some things I did fall short of, and some things that I did say that I was going to do that I didn't do, like the dishes, which I'm going to do after I'm done here, because I said I was going to do them. But I'm going to do them as soon as I'm done. But there are other things, you just have to be able to anticipate when she's looking around. I know she's looking for her glasses, when she's looking in the refrigerator and I know she's looking for something specific, and I show up with 2 avocados because that's what she eats every day, all day. Just things like that. Just being able to show her that I care about you, to think about enough about you to know, what you need when you need it. And the things that I don't know, I rely on her to tell me. And she does. She makes it very vocal when she wants to do something and when she does not want to do something. But the thing about it is trying to get to the point where she doesn't have to be vocal, where I can just, and it's just like having a Jedi mind trick, and nobody has the Jedi mind. Well, some people do, but I want to try and be as close with my wife as I can, all the way down to trying to anticipate her needs, her next move or what she expects of me. So, and how did I do, babe?
You did well.
Say it again.
You did great. The only thing is that you said you were going to bake me a birthday cake and you did it.
Hey, now, there's still some cake over there on the counter, and it's going to get baked over here in a few minutes, so you need to hush that fuss. Hush that fuss. I got to bake a cake. So this week's goal, all right? This week's goal, what I'm going to try to do for my relationship goal this week is I want to try and create more fun and excitement in our relationship, which is, I'm going to tell you what, man, it's going to be hard because we laugh hysterically as shit every day. I've never laughed with any other person more than I laugh with my wife. It's outstanding. You're like, you're fucking corny, man, with this wife shit. But you know what, though, man? It's great. It really is. It really, really is. It really is. I laugh hysterically with her every day since the day we met. And then it's just, I'm not exaggerating. Even on days that we fight, you know what I'm saying? If we fight, we might fight and have a tiff with each other. But, I leave the house for 20 minutes. I come back upstairs. She might say something silly off the cuff, or I might say silly off the cuff, or da-da-da-da. And we are on the floor rolling and laughing and gasping for breath because we can't get our breath from laughing at each other. So this is a huge challenge for me because I'm going to try to take that more fun and excitement to the next level. Now I have some cheat codes. Okay. I have Universal Studios tickets. So part of that is I'm going to, I think one of these days, maybe next Saturday or Sunday, we might take a stroll over to Orlando and hit the theme park for the day, or maybe 2 days, who knows, to have a little bit more fun, a little bit more excitement, maybe go to another beach, maybe hit Miami. She hadn't been to Miami. I used to live on South Beach, so I want to take her down to South Beach and let her check it out a little bit. But, usually we're pretty close to the house or, pretty close to home. And I think this week we might try to have a little bit more fun and excitement by trying to explore a little bit more Florida, get out and do a few more things, maybe, go down and visit some friends or something, down in another part of Florida. So, so that's last week's results from the relationship goal and this week's goals. So that's what I want to try to do for next week. All right. Join me next week. That's going to do it this week, but join me next week because next week I think I'm going to be talking about the Great Resignation that's happening here in the country right now. I was a part of it. Are you a part of it? I don't know. I want to find out. But join me next week for the Deron Harris podcast. And as always, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. I could not be here or do this without you. I'd like to thank my wife every day. I'd like to also thank the producers of the show, my best friends. Thank you very much. Please, again, join me next week for the Deron Harris podcast, and peace.